Well, a new week, and you can see we're back on Planet Coaster. I'm quite enjoying it. It's a very fun game. Harks back to the age of the old Roller Coaster Tycoon, except technology-wise, things are a lot better on it. Because when Roller Coaster Tycoon came out, well, smartphones didn't exist, so the technology didn't. Anyway, we need 8 unlocks to finish it, but the career mode is quite difficult. So at the moment, this is not earmarked for the completion for this week, but there's always a few tucked away. We'll see. Well, as it's Monday, it's recycling time, except we're now in darkness, so it's the fortnightly rubbish. So that's that done. Cardboard cans and cartons. With the cardboard and cartons. Hopefully this will be a bit different in a few weeks when some of the sports comes back. But cans and bottles. And that's done. Well, as you can see, the bed usually means one thing, which means it's record time. It's a good one today as well. Up to 14:27 before the final. We've now just shy of beating September's total, with a few more days to go this month, so it should be the best month ever. 102s across the board, including the full final round. That one there was after a break. It was 2 after a break, so we just got to 101. New record of 15:29, so 14 better than Friday. And hope you had a nice weekend. Hope you're having a nice Tuesday as well. I've missed you, but that's what happens when 4 days goes by, so hope you're alright. Well, Planet Coaster's coming along nicely, but sadly I think completion wise it might struggle a bit. So we're on Inferno 2, which is a sort of a shooter, as you'll see in a minute. Look, sort of a shooter game, which isn't too bad. Well, I don't usually do televised sport much other than the rugby, but this is a very special one. Washington 41, Dallas 16. Wow. Washington have had a very bad few seasons. I mean, look at that. First double in 8 years. Beating them a couple of weeks ago. That sets up the sporting week very well. There's another W team playing tomorrow night that we hope will win by, well, a similar margin to do nicely. We'll see when Wigan face St Helens tomorrow, but very happy Sporting Thanksgiving. 41-16. Well, not long after the Washington-Dallas footage earlier on, we're back on Inferno 2, and as you can see, the traditional nice work all achieved and done, and that's the completion for this week. Well, it's the tradition that continues, except it's at the KCOM, as Laura Wright sings Jerusalem, and sadly, as you can see, we're sat at home, but it's 2024, yeah, and that's the way it is. One thing that does continue in the grand final tradition, while the screen goes out of focus, is the grand final programme for 2020, with the legend that is Rob Burrow on the front. Well worth the £10 it was to buy it, and even more so in every clip that has been shown of him this week. That try from 2011, which I am proud to say I was there to see. The second he picked that ball up, I knew what was going to happen. As she continued with Jerusalem, obviously tonight, it's different for a number of reasons, because it's a grand final and we're not there. So, as what we've been doing for the last few weeks, it's statistics time. So, because this phone doesn't have camera flip and John, we moved the statistics. 2010 grand final between Wigan and Saints was my first on the current records. So that's 431 games ago. That's a lot in 10 years. 389 of them have been for Wigan. It's the 32nd and record meeting against St Helens. Warrington held the lead earlier this week. Yep. But St Helens have regained it. So it's 32, 14 wins, 17 losses, which is a record. Wigan have not lost to any team more while I've been watching this last 10 years, officially. It is a one-game winning streak from a few years ago. It is a one-game win streak from a few weeks ago. Or 2 out of 3 against St Helens in neutral venues. I think one was Magic and one was the 2010 final. 24th neutral game, Hopefully it's not 120th overall loss. That'd be a horrible way to end the season with that milestone. It's the 7th Wigan Grand Final we've either attended, in a sense that we would have been there tonight, or actually been at. 4 wins, 2 losses. The 3rd against St Helens, obviously 2010, 2014 and now 2020. It's the 37th Rugby League attendance, in a sense, this year, which is my lowest total since 2013. 7 years since I've been below 40. So it is a surprise this year. But it is an 80th sporting attendance for the year. We're not going to get to 100. So if we end on 85 with a bit more football, I'll be happy. But let's hope it's a good one. So, usually this would be done as we're sat in the stadium. It's weird seeing it on TV. A couple of weeks ago, with the playoff semi-final, it was strange seeing Wigan at DW and not being there. Seeing a grand final that they're in and not being there, it's bizarre in recent years, but it is what it is. Shaking a bit because this is, it's a nervous time. One of these is going to end up celebrating tonight, and the other one is going to be sitting for a few months wondering how they didn't win it and that the biggest rivals have won it. Warriors for the win. Come on. Well, there we go. Half time. I feel sorry for anyone who had a goalless first half coupon, because literally the final seconds of the first half, St Helens go ahead. As you just heard there, Wigan 0, St Helens 2. Well, there you go. Of all the ways to lose a game, a drop goal off the post, a try with a second to go. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I was going to reach 120 losses overall. That's how you do it. I think a break from sport, a break from possibly everything is needed. This year it's just been unbelievably bad. What a way to lose. Unbelievable. Well, with Planet Coaster dominating the game in this week, other than the Inferno 2 completion, we're on the PC one for Don't Start. That's the ranking for you. The Reign of the Giants console edition. It is on the PC because it's easier to do than on the console. Could be a completion for next week, but we'll see. We're just having a go on it because it's been highly recommended.